Today it's all about the tasty buns. Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Sophie. I have made bread once before. Therefore I feel I'm highly qualified to do a bun making tutorial. But you may not want to take this as a tutorial. So let's get going on some tasty buns. In case you missed my last video, measuring's not that important on this channel. However, today I'm going to use some measuring cups. Next I'm going to take a packet of yeast and dump it right into the flour. Okay. For this next part, grab another bowl, milk, and some butter. Normally when you're baking, you probably want to leave the butter out and let it melt naturally, but today, okay, so here's the butter, all nice and melted. Then I'm going to take some water, pour that in here as well. Half a cup of water, half a cup of milk, and a quarter cup of butter. White sugar, the worst thing you can do to yourself. We're going to put some of that in here. What the hell? My sugar's a brick. Some sugar, just plop it in there. Forget the lumps. So next I'm going to put this lovely mixture into the microwave and get it to a nice lukewarm temperature. You don't want it hot because you don't want to kill the yeast. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take to get it to lukewarm water, but I'm guessing 60 seconds is too much. I don't actually have like a freestanding mixer, so this is all going to be done with this. Stick it in here. Here's where it gets really exciting. So now I'm going to dump this whole mixture that I just pulled out of the microwave into the flour with the yeast in it. I'm not sure how long I mix that for. I think I'm going to add a couple more cups in here. Kind of mix it as I go. What I didn't tell you guys is that the yeast is like a month expired. So here's hoping for the best. It's stuck! Oh no! What do I do? It's always a good idea to wear dark colors when you're cooking, especially if you're going to be making something that's really messy, because it shows up really nicely all over your pants or shirt, whatever you're wearing, so you can show everyone you've been baking. At this point, I feel if I continue with this mixer, I'm going to bust the motor, so the rest of this, by hand. Half a cup of flour. And then I'm just gonna dive in here with my hands. It's not like I just got my nails done or anything. This is like the least messy thing that you can possibly do in the kitchen. I highly recommend it, especially if you're living at your parents' house. Moms love it when you go into their kitchen, you make a big mess. Or maybe you have a cooking father. Hey, you're baking. And that shows initiative. Then you just take it out of the bowl and you beat it around a little bit. Get real hangry. Ugh. 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 Because the whole point is just to mix everything up. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for as far as consistency goes. Because I'm using yeast, I'm gonna have to let this rest for a little bit. So I'm gonna flour my surface, put the dough right on here, grab another bowl, and cover my dough. Oh no! I forgot the salt! I'm gonna try to get this in there. I feel that this is like a good consistency. I don't know if the yeast is still alive. I'll give this like a good 10 more minutes. So while we're waiting here, the next step of this is to grease up a baking pan. Using an aerosol is always good for your lungs. So next I have to preheat the oven. I'm not really sure what temperature to do this at. 400 degrees. Let's see if this thing grew at all. I would say so. Yeah, I'm gonna divide this up into between 4 and 6 balls. And you want to make sure that your balls are even, because there's nothing worse than having one ball bigger than the other. And the reason, of course, is baking. They're not going to bake evenly if they're a different size. And after this, once I got these on there, I gotta let my balls rest, because there's nothing worse than not letting your balls take a nice little breather. You're bigger than the other balls. Come back here. Don't fondle your balls too much, because that may also affect the baking process, and then you'll get some really dense balls, and you don't want dense balls. Oh, my balls are not even. Tear from one ball and put it with another. That's what I always say. I go find a place for these and I gotta let them rise to about double the size. Where can I put my balls? So I did end up finding a home for my balls. Normally I would keep them in the oven, but unfortunately I already turned that shit on. And that would totally destroy the process of making tasty buns. So now I have to wait while my balls double in size, and if you're wondering where I keep them, please be very quiet while we approach my balls. You don't want to startle them. The whole point is to get them to double in size. Any movement or breeze will destroy that process. Hello, I am Zophie, and I'm an addict. I have been using bread since I could eat. My parents got me hooked on it, and ever since then, I've needed to have it. Without bread, I don't feel fulfilled. Some people are sneaking it in their car. Others are bringing it to school and handing it out to other children. And some of the stuff is homemade. I try to limit it to like $5, maybe $10 a week at most. I call myself a functioning addict. I don't really see it causing a problem in my life, and I think most of my friends are okay with it. You're not? What the hell? You told me we were fine with it. What? I do apologize if anyone becomes addicted to bread after this, but it's not my fault. It's totally my fault. Yup, I would say that's about double in size. That one kind of fell apart. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna stick it in the oven 12 minutes. This is the best part of baking and cooking. It's cleanup. Everyone loves this part. Do you see any white powder? I think I'm good. Yeah. Freshly baked buns. You need a cooling rack. Just grab them. They're gonna be hot, but go ahead and just grab them right with your hands. I do have to say that I am very proud of this one. Like, look at this. Oh, it's still steaming. But the bread is like fluffy. Although it smells kind of yeasty. My goodness, this is like really good. You guys have to make this bread. Gonna make a big mess, but that's okay, because in the end you get like 5.5 pretty good rolls out of it, but I guess you could double up on the recipe and make some more. I just didn't have enough yeast. It was really good. So overall, I think I could have used a little bit more salt, but I am satisfied with my buns. Precious. So check out my other 2 videos. I have like 2 up there, and I usually post like once a week, so I'll see.